Welcome to hogaNs Healthy Kitchen 2014. Today we're making spicy Thai cabbage. This recipe is really good for those spicy chili Mexican dish lovers. It also accommodates real nicely with a mock chicken or a mock tuna or a gnocchi. Those three recipes we'll get to at another time. The recipes for today's dish, the ingredients for today's dish is one Napa cabbage, chopped up fine, some mung bean sprouts, some fresh snow pea pods, 6 green onions, 3 stalks of celery, 3 carrots, a quarter cup of lemongrass, and a red pepper. This is what all my ingredients look like. I put them into separate dishes. That's where it's easy to put them into the blender, whatever tool you're using in the kitchen. This is the ginger. This is the dried mustard powder. This is the olive oil. This is the toasted sesame seed oil. This is some lemon juice. Some dried apricots that have been soaked in order to make them soft and to let the blender blend them easier. Some garlic, jalapeno peppers, spring onions. This has been food processed. In the food processors, some celery, chopped up nice and small, some mung bean sprouts, a red pepper, also food processed, some carrots, again in the food processor, and the Napa cabbage, the lemongrass, also in the food processor, and finally the fresh snow pea pods. This I did with the kitchen knife. Okay, what you're going to find in the kitchen, your 4 main tools will be your blender. I have a Vitamix Turbo Blend 2-speed blender. I have a KitchenAid 13-cup food processor. These are all in order of importance. Thirdly, I have a Sedona dehydrator. I chose the Sedona dehydrator because it has a nice door that makes you feel comfortable as if you're working with a normal oven. It has a 2-fan system. Excalibur is good for your high things. If you wanted to dry meat and do beef jerky, turkey jerky, chicken jerky, all those different things, but I've chosen Sedona because it's very good. I run my dehydrator between 95 and 100 degrees Fahrenheit, and that is fantastic. That is a fantastic temperature for all your greens and for your foods other than your meats. Okay, now that you've seen all the different ingredients to the recipe, let's use our trusty Vitamix, blend up a lot of these ingredients to make the sauce, and then after that we'll head to the main part of the recipe. Okay, so first we're going to take our soaked dried apricots. We're going to put them into our Vitamix. We're going to take our ginger, again it's chopped up, also into the Vitamix. Our dry mustard, many things you'll find in order. If you cannot find dry mustard powder or vanilla powder, all the different powder things, you can make things on your own with your blender. You'll just buy vanilla pods or the sesame seeds, dried mustard seeds, all the different, even chia, and you put it into your blender. You just blend it up for about 10 seconds, and that should turn it into a nice fine powder if you cannot locate it at your local farmer's market or store. Okay, and then we're moving on here. We go to the lemon juice. This is roughly just under 1 lemon squeezed into lemon juice. We have our olive oil. I only use extra virgin olive oil. If I can find in the store at the farmer's market cheaper varieties in respect to cold pressed, that's usually the more pricey one, but if I can find cold pressed organic olive oil, I'd rather take that. But most of the time I can just find just normal, not cold pressed, normal organic olive oil, and I'll purchase that in large quantities. Oil is not something you want to use very much in raw food. Some dishes, as this one, do require it, but you get healthy oils from your avocados and many other things that you use in this plant-based, 80% plant-based lifestyle, and maybe the 20% occasionally to have chicken, turkey, and fish. My favorite fish, I had never tasted it until recently, about a month ago, is tilapia. I don't eat beef any longer, I don't eat lamb. Both those products are very hard on your digestive system. They cause the digestive system to be blocked up, and that way, if I had included in the, say I had some spicy Thai cabbage and a piece of beef, what would happen is everything that I consumed in that one meal at lunch or at dinner would sit in my stomach, and it would just take, because the meat takes so long to digest, all this healthy product would sit, and eventually it ferments in your stomach, which causes gas and indigestion and all kinds of problems that we healthy people don't need. And that's eventually where you'll see these people, they might have thin arms and thin legs, but they have this belly. We refer to that as a meat belly or a wheat belly. And that's what comes from all the time. Your body unable to digest that meat, that beef and that lamb, it sits in your digestive system, and that's where you get bloated and you get expand. Anyway, enough on that. Let's carry on with our recipe here. We're moving on to the jalapeno peppers. I'm a chili lover, I love heat. So every time I make a dish like this, I choose usually the hottest peppers. If I cannot find jalapeno peppers, then I'll go for habaneros, which are quite a bit hotter, and I always leave the seeds in. You can always half this and use one jalapeno pepper if you choose to, and then de-seed it if you're not such a fan of heated things, or if you're feeding this to small children and your kids in your family. So these are 2 jalapeno peppers. They haven't been de-seeded, they still have all their seeds in them. Okay. Toasted sesame seed oil. This is what we have here. This is also going into the dish. Now what we're going to do is we're going to blend this all up, and it's going to turn into a sauce which should be very thick and smooth. And once we have the sauce, we're going to stick that thick sauce into our cabbage and our celery and our carrots and our red pepper, and we're going to mix it all together into one. So excuse me for a moment, let's get blending our sauce here. If you own a Vitamix blender, what you want to do is, I have 2 options on mine. I have an on-off switch on my right hand side, and I have a high-low switch. What you want to do when you're using your blender to make nut milks or any dish is you want to have your blender already on low at the default setting. And when you turn it on, when you flip the switch for on, then flip the switch on the left hand side from low to high. Some recipes you don't have to do that, you can just use the low speed. But for this, because we're making a thick sauce and we've got a lot of ingredients with oil, which is going to make it nice and thick and smooth, you want to flip it to high so it gets through everything that it needs to. While I'm blending here, I've just thought of something. Many people make this mistake, so I'm gonna let you in on a little raw food chef secret, which might seem logical and obvious, but you won't believe how many people make this mistake in regard to their blenders. You always blend with your Vitamix lid on or your blender's lid on, and use your device like this, because some people, when they check in the mixture to see the consistency of it, they will remove their lid, and then they will forget about their lid, and they will start blending like this. And what happens? You cut your spinner, and you have to buy a new one. These cost in the region of about $20 to $30, so it's a costly thing for a smaller steak. Okay, now that we've got our sauce here, we leave that now. We're going to work with our cabbage and our mung bean sprouts and our snow peas. So here we have our bowl where we're going to mix everything in. First we have our cabbage here. We're going to put some cabbage in. This is a beautiful bowl here. We see this as a mixing bowl. I like to use a very wide bowl rather than a tall bowl, because I can get my hands into the bottom and work everything around. You can get this, we have a cherry wood bowl here, but you can also get this in stainless steel. I wouldn't suggest getting aluminum or any other form of a bowl if you find a mixing bowl other than a nice wood or bamboo base or stainless steel, which is my top preference. Okay, so we put some cabbage, some mung beans, we're going to move on to our snow peas. Like I said, this was cut up with a knife, a kitchen knife. We're going to move on to our green onions, done in the food processor. Moving on to our celery, also done in the food processor. Our lemongrass. With lemongrass, the food processor did this for us, but we had to chop it up with a knife. We had to chop it up into smaller sections, because what you'll find, even though your food processor is very strong, with things like sun-dried tomatoes, dried apricots, all the different types of dried fruit, and then lemongrass, is that it won't process them correctly. Your blade will actually get stuck, and you'll have to remove your lid and remove everything and start over. So with those kinds of things, if your dried fruits, your dried tomatoes, you want to soak them for minimum of 2 hours. Put them in the food processor, and that way you won't have your food processor stop. And the same with the lemongrass. Chop it up, then chuck it in your food processor. It makes it a lot easier, even though your device is a very powerful device. Okay, so there's our lemongrass. Our red pepper, also done in the food processor. As you can see in this dish already, there's a lot of color coming. Besides from the nutritional value and the taste, people like color in their food. They like all different colors to be together as one. And finally, we're going to put in our carrots. Okay, that's our mixture. What we want to do is mix this all together. As you can see here, this bowl is a fairly big bowl, but even with everything in it, all my different ingredients, it's almost not enough to contain. And if you can see here, I still have a lot of cabbage that I need to work through. So if possible, with your mixing bowls, get 2 or 3 mixing bowls, and that way you can transfer and get everything that you need to for a large dish. If you're having a dinner or a lunch and you're having lots of people over, that way you can work with 1 or 2 bowls and transfer. Okay. Once you've mixed it efficiently and to your liking, where you can see all the colors blending in with one another and standing out, looking almost like a rainbow, what you want to do is then take your sauce, put it in, and massage it into your veggies. Okay. Here's our sauce. And another big thing you're going to find in the kitchen that you're going to need if you ever take up this lifestyle is a spatula. I have about six of these in my kitchen. I use them so much with my food processor, with my blender, with nearly everything. a spatula is your right hand man. So let's get all the sauce out of our Vitamix blender here. It almost looks like blended avocado. The smell is pleasant. Okay. Once you've got all the sauce or most of the sauce out the blender, what you want to do is massage it all into your dish, and the more you massage it, the more that your salad and your ingredients will soak up that sauce that you've created and all the ingredients in the sauce. It's a little bit sticky at first to begin with, but you'll see as you keep on massaging, eventually all the different ingredients will take away the sauce and blend it into themselves. Make sure to get it everywhere that you can in the salad, that you almost leave no place, if no place at all, not without sauce. You want none of your spicy Thai cabbage to be bland. You want it to have all the flavor that you've put from the Vitamix in it. Reach deep into the bottom, massage from the bottom up, and then from the top down. And that's it. That is your spicy Thai cabbage. Thank you for learning with me today. It's been a pleasure teaching you, and enjoy the rest of your day and goodbye.